USC 7-footer Evan Mobley has been making waves all season long in college basketball and the NBA draftosphere. While just a year ago, USC's Onyeka Okongwu landed himself as the number 6 overall selection, Mobley is looking like a lock to find himself in the top 3 come draft night. Mobley sports a freakish 7-foot 5-inch wingspan and has shown the all-around flashes that have many draft aficionados wondering if he's the next NBA unicorn. Welcome to Film Sesh, an NBA draft deep dive by Corey Tulaba, highlighting how a prospect might make an impact when they step onto an NBA floor. As I alluded to earlier, Mobley has shown off a crazy versatile skill set for a prospect with Mobley's measurements. But where he truly stands out is as a potential dominant defensive presence. Mobley is averaging nearly 3 blocks a game for USC this season, showing off the ability to get his hands on shots in multiple scenarios. Mobley's excellent timing on his jumps, combined with his insane length, makes for some real highlight-worthy stuffs at the rim. NBA teams will love his ability to get straight up and show off the verticality at the hoop. Mobley has also shown off the ability to block shots with both his left and right hand. This allows Mobley to stay disciplined in his positioning and will be a valuable tool in avoiding needless fouls at the next level. He can come over from the weak side to help out on blow-bys and backdoor cuts or drop-offs, and Mobley has the ability to stay with guards when they get downhill and attack the rim. But Mobley impacts the defense even when he isn't rejecting shots. Mobley's length forces opponents into tough spots and shots. Guards often pick up their dribble and retreat, and he forces bigs to just throw up junk at the rim. Mobley is perfectly suited to be a monster NBA defender. NBA big man defenses turn into a drop coverage bonanza, and Mobley puts on a clinic on this possession. Steps up to the elbow ready to go. He sticks with the guard's penetration, forcing the retreat, recovers to the screener, and gets a phenomenal contest, forcing the miss. And Mobley shows off some unicorn here, preventing penetration from the ball handler, recovers out to the screener, blocks the jumper, and then runs the floor like a gazelle and finishes off the hit-ahead. Those go-go gadget arms just make life so hard on offensive players. But he isn't just a drop big. Mobley is also fluid enough to blitz screens. And most importantly, switch out onto the perimeter. This becomes uber important in the playoffs, when we've seen bigs like Rudy Gobert have trouble getting switched out onto elite guards. If Mobley can stick with NBA guards half as well as he shows off the ability to do in this clip, you're looking at a future Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, he's sticking with guards with some shake. Not many dudes that tall that don't end up on skates here. So that leaves us with where Mobley needs to improve on the defensive end. Right now, the dude is weak as hell. Mobley lets college players move him off his spot way too easily in the post and often gives up positioning on the defensive glass or seals at the hoop. Mobley may not be banging in the post on a night-to-night basis, but there will be games where he's going to have to line up across from the Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic's of the world, and if he doesn't get some weight on him, he's in for some long nights. On the offensive side of the ball, Mobley is definitely intriguing, as he can do a little bit of everything, but he also doesn't necessarily have a standout offensive skill. The Anthony Davis comp gets thrown around a lot with Mobley, and it's just not fair to him or really anyone because AD is truly a freak. A 7-footer with legit shooting guard movements and skills, Mobley is not that. He definitely moves really well for his size, but he still moves like a big. Mobley has an awkward fluidity reminiscent of Jaren Jackson, although he's not quite the sniper that Triple J is. But Mobley can stretch the floor a little bit, as a catch-and-shoot stretch 5. He's currently only shooting around 30% from deep on a little over 1 attempt a game, but the form isn't bad. The release is a little bit slow, and he gets a little palmy on the ball, leading to some front rim misses, but when he lets it fly with confidence, it looks pretty good. He gets good arc on the ball and has a high release point, which will make it a tough shot to contest. With his height and length, it's very Porzingis-y. I think it might take a bit of time to adjust to the NBA line, but he'll be a viable enough option to space the floor for an NBA offense. But 3-point shooting won't be Mobley's bread and butter anyway. Mobley has been way more effective getting his KG or Chris Bosh on and facing up in the mid-range. Mobley uses these face-up opportunities to rise up as a shooter, which then opens up quick pump fake or jab step attacks to the rim. Now, most righties use their left leg as their pivot, but Mobley prefers his right leg, and this unusual stance, along with those long strides and his quick first step, really throws off defenders, allowing Mobley to draw fouls and get easy finishes at the hoop. And again, Mobley has that awkward smoothness to him, and while it may not always look pretty, he has great body control and soft touch. He loves using those Steve Nash same foot, same hand finishes in that little in-between area. But there are times when operating in the in-between that Mobley falls into the Kristaps Porzingis trap. Mobley uses his great footwork, touch, and measurables to shoot these fadeaway jumpers. They look unstoppable when they go in, because at his height, they're impossible to block. However, he needs to not settle for these, because as we've learned from the OG Unicorn himself, they can become one of the most inefficient shots in his arsenal. And like Porzingis, they sometimes stem from the fact that he doesn't have the strength to move defenders in the post. It won't get easier with the big bodies in the league. Stephen A. Smith voice. However, Mobley's Mr. Fantastic length, coupled with his good touch, footwork, and ability to finish with either hand, does allow him to go to work in the post, even if he isn't getting deep position on the block. But NBA teams rarely rely on post play anyway. Mobley will do most of his finishing at the rim in the half court as an offensive rebounder, where he's been tenacious in generating second chance points for himself and his team. He'll also do work as a cutter, driver, and as a dive man, an avenue where he loves to slip screens on his way to monster dunks. Pair him with a high-powered guard with range and you have a near impossible pick-and-roll combo. This rings especially true because Mobley is going to be a fantastic passer in the short roll, but we'll dive into his passing in a bit. Let's go back to Mobley's love for slipping screens. This is not always a positive because it's pretty much all he does. Going back to Mobley's lack of strength, it also trickles down to his troubles with setting solid screens. But it's more than a lack of strength, it's also a lack of willingness to just make contact and hit somebody. Mobley kinda just stands in the way, and it makes it super easy for guards to get over and blow up sets early. There's a lot of chatter about how USC's guards struggle to get him the ball, but these soft screens do him no favors. It's hard to run effective pick and rolls when the screener lets the point of attack defender get back to his man so easily. This is probably Mobley's most glaring weakness on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, look at how easy it is for the Santa Clara guard to get over the screen. There's a reason that bigs like Gobert are heralded for their screen assists. It makes the game so much easier on guards. And watch what happens when Mobley actually does make contact. Mobley displays why he should theoretically expect to be such a phenomenal lob target. And then he even gets himself a screen assist, freeing up his shooter. Learning to screen properly is going to help him so much at the next level, where we see how it not only opens up offense for himself, but also makes him a more versatile passer, where he can operate running the Jokic Bam DHOs. So let's get into that passing in vision. Mobley has the potential to be one of the new age NBA centers that serve as a secondary playmaker on their team. Hence why I mentioned Bam Adebayo. Mobley can see over the entire defense and makes really quick reads off of screens and when he's doubled in the post. And he's particularly adept at making the advanced reads to the weak side corner. I mean, look at this find coming off the screen. We see the slip and then a quick laser to the weak side corner. Mobley doesn't get the assist here, but with that pass, he forces the defense into scramble mode and USC gets a layup. And he's so long and tall that when he gets the ball in the post, he sees right over the double teams. But it isn't just the measurables that make these passes happen, it's also the touch and precision. He's hitting dudes right in their shooting pockets. Now, I don't think Mobley has the necessary ball handling creativity to consistently take defenders off the bounce to set up drive and kick opportunities, but he also doesn't need that to be effective as a passer if he continues to build on his strengths. You never want to limit a player's potential, but you also want to be realistic about their skill set. Mobley's ability to create from the perimeter can sometimes be a little choppy. He usually only gets a few dribbles in before he turns his back to the basket. The uncertainty, due to his lack of off-the-bounce combo moves, jams him up into tough situations from time to time. These are the type of scenarios where Anthony Davis really separates himself as a big man talent. But again, Anthony Davis is a generational talent, and even Davis had to find the right perimeter partner deep into his career to finally have the success that mirrors his talent level. The NBA is a man's league. Mobley will have to work on that strength as he matures into his body, but the talent is undeniable. The big man has the IQ and the skill set to be the perfect new age NBA 5-man. The G League kids are coming, but Mobley's continued excellent play in a turbulent college season could very well land him as the number 2 overall pick on draft night.